The single mom took her daughter to work. Didn't expect the Mafia boss's proposal. Rosa Martinez had exactly 3 rules for survival as a single mother working as a live-in housekeeper for the wealthy. Keep your head down, never ask questions, and absolutely, under no circumstances, bring your personal life into your employer's home. Which was why she was currently having a minor panic attack in the servants' entrance of the Marchetti mansion, her 3-year-old daughter Luna clinging to her leg. "I'm so sorry, Mrs. Chen," Rosa said into her phone, trying to keep her voice steady even as her heart raced. "I know this is incredibly unprofessional. My sister was supposed to watch her, but she's in the ER with appendicitis and the daycare is closed for renovations and I have nowhere else." "Rosa, breathe," her supervisor said, her usually stern voice surprisingly gentle. "It's one day. Mr. Marchetti is barely home anyway. Just keep her quiet and out of sight. Do what you need to do." Rosa hung up and looked down at Luna, who was clutching her yellow stuffed bunny and looking up at her mother with those impossibly big brown eyes that could break and mend Rosa's heart in the same breath. "Okay, mija," Rosa said, kneeling down to Luna's level. "Remember what Mama said? You have to be very, very quiet today. Like a mouse. Can you be a mouse for Mama?" Luna nodded solemnly, pressing a finger to her lips. "Shh, that's my good girl." Rosa kissed her forehead, breathing in the familiar scent of baby shampoo and innocence. "Come on, let's get you settled in the laundry room with your toys." The Marchetti mansion was a sprawling estate that Rosa had been maintaining for 6 months now. It belonged to Dante Marchetti, a 32-year-old businessman whose actual business was the subject of much whispered speculation among the staff. Rosa didn't ask questions. The pay was exceptional, the hours predictable, and Mr. Marchetti was rarely home, away on mysterious business trips that could last weeks. She'd only met him twice, once during her interview, where he'd barely looked at her, and once when she'd accidentally walked in on him in his study late at night. He'd been on the phone speaking rapid Italian, and when he'd noticed her frozen in the doorway, his dark eyes had pinned her with an intensity that had made her mouth go dry. "Scusa," she'd stammered, backing out quickly. He'd simply nodded and returned to his conversation, but Rosa had felt his gaze on her back all the way down the hall. Today was supposed to be a routine cleaning day. Mr. Marchetti was supposed to be in Chicago until Friday, which meant Rosa should have been able to get through her tasks, keep Luna entertained in the laundry room, and get home before anyone was the wiser. Should have been. Rosa was upstairs changing the linens in the master bedroom when she heard it, Luna's delighted giggle echoing through the halls. No. No, no, no. Rosa dropped the sheets and ran, her heart in her throat. She followed the sound to the grand living room and stopped dead in the doorway. Luna was there, in her yellow polka dot dress with the matching bow in her hair, holding her stuffed bunny and laughing at Dante Marchetti. He was on the floor, on the actual floor, in his expensive suit, making faces at her daughter. And Luna, who was usually shy around strangers, was giggling like she'd found the funniest person in the world. "Mr. Marchetti," Rosa's voice came out strangled. "I am so sorry. I can explain." Dante looked up and Rosa was struck again by those eyes, dark, intense, dangerous. But right now they were also soft, amused even. "This beautiful little troublemaker," he said, his accent thick and his deep voice warm, walked right up to me and declared that I looked sad and needed a hug. Then she gave me this. He held up the stuffed bunny, for safekeeping apparently. "Mr. Conejo takes care of sad people," Luna explained seriously. Rosa wanted the floor to open up and swallow her. "Luna, come here right now. Mr. Marchetti, I'm so sorry. I know I'm not supposed to have her here. My childcare fell through and I had no one else and I thought you were in Chicago and—" "Rosa!" Dante stood brushing off his suit pants. He was tall, over 6 feet, with broad shoulders and the kind of presence that filled a room, the kind of man mothers warned their daughters about. Breathe. It was the second time someone had told her to breathe today. "How old is she?" Dante asked, his eyes back on Luna, who was now examining his expensive watch with intense fascination. "3, almost 4. Rosa moved to scoop Luna up, but Dante held up a hand. "What's your name, Piccola?" "Luna," her daughter said proudly. "Like the moon. Mama says I'm her light in the dark." Something flickered across Dante's face, something that looked almost like pain. "That's a beautiful name." "I'm Dante." "Like the poet?" Rosa found herself saying, then immediately regretted it. What was she doing, making small talk with her employer while her unauthorized child played with his watch? But Dante's lips curved slightly. "My mother was an optimist. She thought naming me after a poet might make me refined." His smile turned rueful. It didn't work. Luna tugged on Dante's sleeve. "Are you still sad?" "Luna, please!" Rosa started, but Dante was already kneeling again, bringing himself eye level with her daughter. "You know what? I was sad, but you made me feel better." He gently retrieved his watch, which Luna handed over without complaint. "Thank you for letting me borrow Mr. Conejo. You can keep him for a while if you want," Luna offered generously, "but you have to give him back because Mama made him for me and he's special." Rosa felt tears prick her eyes. She had made that bunny, stitched it from scraps late at night when she couldn't afford to buy Luna a proper toy. It was lumpy and uneven, but Luna loved it more than anything. "I would be honored," Dante said solemnly, accepting the bunny like it was made of gold. "I will take very good care of him." "Okay." Luna beamed at him, then turned to Rosa. "Mama, I like him. Can we keep him?" Dante laughed. Actually laughed. It was a sound Rosa had never heard from him, rich and genuine and completely at odds with the dangerous aura he usually projected. "Luna, Mr. Marchetti is my boss, not a puppy," Rosa said, mortified. "But he's nice, and he was lonely." Luna looked back at Dante. "Were you lonely?" The laughter died on Dante's face, replaced by something raw and unguarded. "Yes," he said quietly. "I was." Rosa saw it then. Behind the expensive suits and the commanding presence and the rumors about organized crime, loneliness. The kind she recognized because she wore it herself, hidden behind a professional smile and an exhausting determination to provide for her daughter. "Luna, why don't you go get your coloring books from the laundry room?" Rosa said gently, "and bring some for Mr. Marchetti. Maybe he'd like to color too." Luna's eyes lit up. "Really? Really?" Rosa met Dante's gaze, saw the question there, and nodded slightly. Luna ran off, her light-up shoes squeaking against the marble floor, and silence descended. "You don't have to—" Dante started. "You're right, I don't," Rosa interrupted, surprising herself with her boldness. "But you made my daughter smile, and you didn't fire me on the spot for breaking the rules, and honestly, Mr. Marchetti, you look like you could use some finger painting in your life." Dante stared at her for a long moment. Then, slowly, that smile returned. "Dante, what?" "Call me Dante. Mr. Marchetti makes me feel like my father." He loosened his tie. "And if we're going to finger paint, we should probably be on a first-name basis." "Rosa," she said, even though he obviously already knew her name. "But you should know that Luna takes her art very seriously. She'll critique your work. I would expect nothing less." They ended up spending the entire afternoon in the living room, Dante in his $1,000 suit sitting cross-legged on his pristine white carpet, surrounded by coloring books and crayons, and a 3-year-old girl who bossed him around like he was just another kid. Rosa tried to work, but she kept finding excuses to pass by the living room, unable to resist checking on them. Each time, the scene became more surreal. Dante Marchetti, rumored crime boss, feared businessman, man who made grown men nervous, was wearing a paper crown Luna had made him and arguing passionately about whether the sky should be blue or purple. "Purple skies are more interesting," Luna insisted. "But scientifically—" Dante started. "Mr. Dante, are you arguing with a 3-year-old about science?" Rosa called from the doorway. He looked up, caught, and shrugged helplessly. "She makes compelling points." Rosa laughed, and something in Dante's expression shifted. He looked at her like she'd done something extraordinary instead of just laughing at his predicament. The afternoon bled into evening. Rosa knew she should leave. Her shift was over, and she'd already pushed her luck far enough. But when she went to collect Luna, she found her daughter asleep on the couch, curled up next to Dante, who was reading to her from a worn copy of Italian fairy tales. I thought I was supposed to be entertaining her, Dante said softly, careful not to wake Luna. But I think I got the better end of this deal. Rosa moved to pick up her daughter, but Dante shook his head. Let her sleep. When was the last time you sat down? I'm fine, Rosa. His voice was gentle but firm. Sit. She sat, and the exhaustion she'd been fighting all day crashed over her. I really am sorry about today. Stop apologizing. Dante carefully shifted Luna so she was more comfortable, his large, tattooed hands impossibly gentle. I haven't had a day like this in... I can't remember how long, maybe never, even as a child, especially as a child. He stared down at Luna's sleeping face. My father believed in grooming heirs, not raising children. By the time I was Luna's age, I was already learning that emotion was weakness. That's awful, Rosa said before she could stop herself. That's the life. Dante's voice was matter of fact, but Rosa heard the pain underneath. Every Marchetti man for 3 generations has run the family business. It's tradition, legacy, prison. You could leave. Could I? He finally looked at her, and the intensity in his gaze made her breath catch. Men like me don't get to leave, Rosa. We're born into this life, and we die in it. The best we can hope for is to find moments of light in the darkness. Like the moon, Rosa said softly. Like the moon, Dante agreed, looking back at Luna. Your daughter asked me today what I do for work. Do you know what I told her? Rosa shook her head. I told her I help people solve problems, and she said, like a superhero. And His voice cracked slightly. I wanted to say yes so badly. I wanted to be the man she thought I was instead of the man I actually am. Dante, I'm not a good man, Rosa. He met her eyes again. I've done things, ordered things, that would make you run from this house and never look back. But today, playing with your daughter, I remembered what it felt like to be human, to be soft, to be someone worth knowing. Rosa's heart was pounding. She should be scared. She should grab Luna and leave and never come back. But instead she found herself saying, I think you're worth knowing. Dante's breath hitched. You don't know me. I know you spent 4 hours on the floor making a 3-year-old happy. I know you're still holding her stuffed bunny like it's precious. I know you read to her from your mother's fairy tale book. She'd noticed the inscription, even though it probably hurts to open it. That tells me plenty. Rosa, I'm a single mother who cleans houses to keep the lights on, Rosa continued, surprising herself with her courage. I've seen enough people to know that what you do for a living doesn't always define who you are. Maybe you've made mistakes, maybe you've done terrible things, but maybe you're also lonely and sad and desperate for connection, just like everyone else. Dante was quiet for so long that Rosa thought she'd overstepped, but then he said, very quietly, I want to keep seeing her, both of you. Mr. Marr, Dante, I don't think, not like that, he interrupted, though something in his eyes suggested he might want exactly that. I want to, I don't know, be part of your lives, however you'll let me. I'll pay you, of course. No. Rosa's voice was sharp. This isn't a transaction. Then what is it? I don't know, Rosa admitted. But it's not that. They stared at each other across the sleeping child between them, and Rosa saw the exact moment Dante made his decision. Marry me, he said. Rosa blinked. What? Marry me, Dante repeated, and now his voice had that commanding quality she recognized. You need stability, resources, security. I can give you all of that. Luna would have everything she could ever want, and He stopped, seeming vulnerable for the first time. I would have a family, a chance to be the man your daughter thinks I am. That's insane, Rosa whispered. Probably. Dante shifted, careful not to wake Luna. But I'm going to be honest with you, Rosa. I knew who you were before today. I know you work 3 jobs. I know you're putting yourself through nursing school online. I know you send money to your mother in Arizona, and that your ex-husband is 5 years behind on child support. Rosa felt cold. You investigated me? I investigate everyone who works for me. It's survival. He had the grace to look ashamed, but today, meeting Luna, seeing you with her. Rosa, I haven't felt this awake in years, and I'm selfish enough to want to keep feeling this way. This is crazy. We barely know each other. Then get to know me, Dante urged. Move into the guest house. Let me help with Luna. No strings, no expectations, just let me try to be part of something good for once. Rosa looked at her sleeping daughter, thought about the eviction notice she'd hidden in her purse, the mounting bills, the exhaustion that never ended. Then she looked at Dante, dangerous, lonely Dante, who'd spent an afternoon wearing a paper crown and arguing about purple skies. 1 month, she heard herself say. Trial period. You help with Luna, I keep working here, we see if this insanity could possibly work. But Dante, if I even suspect that this life of yours could hurt my daughter, I'd walk away myself, Dante said fiercely. Rosa, I swear to you, Luna's safety comes first, always. And looking into his eyes, seeing the desperate sincerity there, Rosa believed him. 6 months later, Rosa woke up in Dante's bed, their bed now, to find him already awake, watching her with those intense dark eyes. What? She murmured, still half asleep. Marry me, he said. Rosa laughed. You've asked me that every day for 4 months, and someday you'll say yes. Maybe. She propped herself up on her elbow. Ask me again when you've successfully braided Luna's hair without YouTube tutorials. That's an impossible standard, and you know it. Their banter was interrupted by small feet running down the hall and a body launching onto the bed between them. Mama, Dante, I had a dream about purple skies. Dante caught Luna easily, pulling her into a bear hug that made her shriek with laughter. Purple skies are the best skies, Piccola. Rosa watched them together, her daughter and this dangerous man who'd somehow become the safest person in their lives, and felt her heart swell. Okay, she said quietly. Dante looked up. Okay, what? Okay, I'll marry you. For a moment, he just stared. Then he was kissing her over Luna's head, and Luna was giggling and making gagging sounds, and Rosa was laughing through happy tears. Really? Dante pulled back, his eyes searching hers. You mean it? Really, Rosa confirmed. You've spent 6 months proving that you're exactly the man Luna thought you were. How could I not marry you? Best day ever, Luna announced. Can I have 3 cakes at the wedding? Absolutely, Dante said solemnly. Dante, no, Rosa started. 3 cakes, he repeated. Final offer. And as Luna negotiated for 4 cakes and a pony, Rosa realized that somehow, impossibly, her life had become exactly what she'd never dared to dream of. Perfect chaos, dangerous safety, love in the most unexpected place.